one way or another.
Yeah, and you don't even literally. You could just like copy off of Sotomayor. You could just go every vote, be like, how are you going to vote? And then if you like, God willing, you don't have to do this, but if you have to write the dissent, you can I really thought that when it came to the facts in the case, that it was just clear what I had to do. Just write, like, you can't. They're not going to impeach you. Just it's like a book report for something you didn't read. It's fine. I would say the job, because I saw people saying like, don't say she should have retired. She had a unique role in the court. The job of Supreme Court Justice is like, it's the Queen of England, but if she had power. Anyone could have done that. They could have brought anyone to that. Does not matter.
So going on here, it says, even more reassuring to Barrett skeptics should be her remarkable humility. There are plenty of smart people in elite academia and on the federal bench, but few with Barrett's generosity of spirit. She genuinely seeks to understand others' arguments and does not regard them as mere obstacles to be overcome on the way to reaching a preferred conclusion. Time and again, I have seen her gently reframe a colleague's arguments to make them stronger, even when she disagreed with them. And she is not afraid to change her own mind in the search for the truth, as I have seen in several of our faculty seminars. Such open-mindedness is exactly what we want of our judges, and what we can expect Barrett to bring to the Supreme Court, because that is who she has always been. Why do you think it is that, like, I mean, Matt, like, I think you've already answered this question about, like, why liberals, I don't know, like, maybe not why they do, but, like, the fact that they have this belief that, like, the Supreme Court is not a political institution. Like, how is it that they are the only people on the planet that didn't realize that the only reason that you're nominated by a Republican president to serve on the Supreme Court is that you're against abortion and regulation of business, the private sector, et cetera, et cetera. But, like, abortion is the marquee issue here. Like, that's the main factor one way or the other. So, like, who is he reassuring here with this idea that, like, because of her humility and judicial skepticism, that there would be any chance whatsoever that she wasn't going to vote in the way we all know that she's going to, as it regards the right to an abortion?
I mean, it's liberals. They're just reassuring themselves. They're doing the rosary. They got to do it every time there's a Supreme Court vacancy that is filled by a Republican.
But, like, they're the ones who are supposed to care about the court more than anyone. And, like, they're the ones who are saying, like, oh, like, when the Supreme Court's in the balance, like, that was why you had to vote for Hillary Clinton. But then, like, why all these reassurances? Is it just cope? Is they're just trying to, like, tell themselves that, like, Roe v. Wade won't be overturned? Are they reassuring
Well, I mean, the ones who are doing this are always lawyers. So, there's different incentives if you're, like, a political operative and a pundit or something, or if you're inside the tent of, like, the legal establishment. Like, they have a specific investment in maintaining the illusion of institutional legitimacy that transcends any political question.
Lawyers also, I was going to say that, like, lawyers love acting like any of them are good lawyers, especially media lawyers. There's probably like 30 good lawyers, probably in the entire world, but, like, they want it to be sports so fucking bad that they have to talk about how good Amy Coney Barrett is at being a judge and, by extension, a lawyer. It's like, who fucking cares? Shut up.
These are political appointees appointed to achieve a political task. In this case, advancing the, long-held right-wing dream of making abortion illegal in America. Going on here, it says, while Barrett's faith is the source of her selflessness, it is not a source of authority for her work as a judge. Indeed, during her 2017 confirmation hearing, she stated as much under oath. Oh, well, if she said so under oath, I'm sure, there's no backsies on that. A progressive former colleague from Barrett's clerkship days, from Ginsburg's chambers no less, affirmed that Barrett is not at all ideological and believes that she will try as hard as anyone can to bracket the views that she has as she decides cases. While Barrett would not draw on any extra legal source of authority, be it religious, moral, or political, as a justice, some may still worry about her views on legal precedent. Barrett appears to follow the jurisprudence of her mentor, Justice Antonin Scalia, in looking for the original meaning of the Constitution's text to evaluate past decisions of the Supreme Court. This approach can stand in tension with the doctrine of stare decisis, which counsels justices to account for pragmatic considerations such as the disruptive effects of upending precedents Americans have come to rely on before reversing a prior decision. Yet here, too, because of her integrity and rigor, there is no reason to fear that Barrett would casually disregard precedents that conflict with the Constitution's original meaning or even a statute's plain meaning. Her past scholarship, including a 2017 law review article, makes clear that she appreciates the tensions between originalism and stare decisis. There, she wrote, there is nothing in original jurisprudence that requires justices to seek the reversal of precedents of their own initiative. I mean, if you've been following what happened in the court yesterday, you'll get the irony of that last two paragraphs. I mean, they're blatantly disregarding precedent here. I mean, like, again, that's why she was put on the Supreme Court. It goes here, there is, of course, no way to know in advance how a Justice Barrett would rule on hot-button cases. Yes, there is. There's a very clear way to know how she would rule in advance. The fact that she's a member of the Federalist Society and been basically prepared her entire life to fill this opening in the Supreme Court would give you a very, very clear, like, you could just checklist down a fucking, just check it off down a list of how she's going to vote on every issue. You'll know that in advance. At a time when there is so much worry about our troubled nation, having a Supreme Court justice who brings such honesty and integrity to her work should be the least of our fears. The word abortion was not brought up once in this entire op-ed piece. So there you go. That's how the Washington Post back in September 2020 assured everyone about how good Amy Coney Barrett would be on the Supreme Court. And, you know, even if you're friends with her and you think that she's a good woman who's qualified for the job, I mean, it was just like, I don't know, it kind of stuns me that, like, just the actual ramifications of political decisions and judgments or just political issues at all, they're just waved away with hot button issues, are just completely not considered at all in the realm of these, like, you know, the legal eagles of academia. All right, should we move on to moving on from abortion? Should we talk about licking assholes on college campuses?
Finally.
Yes. Folks, Rod Dreher is back at it again. And I just, you know, he's been on a hot streak, and I would be remiss if I didn't bring up his latest in the American Conservative, titled Heine Lickers of Princeton. Rod writes, a non-faculty source at Princeton University, one of the crowns of American higher education, sent me these flyers that RAs approved to students. Okay, now it's like this very sort of millennial-style graphic design here, and it says, for free, safer sex supplies without the awkwardness, delivered directly and discreetly. Choose your own sexual adventure. Fill out the form and choose from 6 unique options to receive a safer sex kit, which is catered to your needs. So let's go on to choose your own sexual adventure. So first sexual adventure, butt stuff. If you choose the butt stuff sexual adventure, you get an internal condom, unflavored external condoms, flavored dental dams, flavored lube, unflavored lube.
An internal condom?
I think that's like a female condom.
Like a female condom, I
They
guess.
still make those?
Talk about evil inventions in modernity. That old plastic bag.
And of course, it's the butt stuff that Rod is going to get onto here, because of course the inclusion of flavored and unflavored lube would seem to imply that you're licking someone's asshole.
In health class, it was very funny when they would talk about safe sex, and the teacher would introduce the dental dam. Because I remember being like 14 and a virgin and being like, nobody uses that.
Yeah,
And now we use them every day.
Right.
You're right. Yeah. Other sexual adventures you can choose are slip and slide. For slip and slide, you get 3 flavored lubes, 3 unflavored lubes, and 3 unflavored external condoms.
Okay. By external condoms, does he mean the female condom?
External condoms would be
External
the
is-
traditional male condom. I would
Okay,
assume.
yeah.
Yeah.
He should just. Oh, okay. Are they doing? Is that they're doing like woke language thing, like a academic thing where they're like, oh,
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
think
say-
so.
Okay, yeah. I see where this is going.
And I'm just trying to, because butt stuff, that's obvious what sexual adventure you're choosing. But slip and slide, like, what is that? You get a lot of lube, and I'm imagining you actually have like an actual slip and slide that's greased with lube, and you just run down it and then just like splash into someone whose legs are open at the bottom
That's a thing.
of your dorm room hall.
That's an icebreaker, I think, on a lot of freshman dorms.
That's how you get tapped into Skull and Bones. If your friend slips and slides and his head goes all the way into your asshole, you're tapped in.
Next up is oral fixation. for which you will receive 3 flavored dental dams and 4 flavored external condoms. I mean, just the whole flavored condom thing.
What do you need to be tasting
really
things for?
Yeah.
Focus on what's happening in front of you. Don't be thinking about like, I don't know, this doesn't really taste like raspberry.
It's like when you go to the dentist office and they're gonna like clean your teeth and they're like, "What flavor of toothpaste would you like?" As we grind it into your fucking teeth and gums. It's like, I don't know, the one with the least amount of flavor.
Yeah,
Like,
this is
the fact that it tastes like bubble gum is not going to make this experience any better.
I feel the same thing when the dentist makes me suck his cock with a It's like, just fine, get it over with. I think that the alarming thing here is that like even undergraduates are doing sex nerd stuff.
Yeah, not a good sign.
Come on, guys. That's for 35-year-old computer guys and their wives.
It feels like most people who are culturally conservative are like, I don't care what consenting adults do. Just don't like hold hands on the street. And then Rod is like, no, I care. Here's what.
No, he definitely cares. Next sexual adventure is latex free, for which you will receive 3 internal condoms, 4 latex-free external condoms, and 3 unflavored lubes. I guess they're just giving you the old sheep's bladders if you're allergic to latex. Next is wrap it up. 3 flavored external condoms, 3 unflavored external condoms, 3 unflavored lubes, and then finally manual play, which you get something called 5 finger cots. What? 3 gloves and 3 unflavored. Okay, if we're just talking about getting hand jobs, I don't think you need to be giving college or high school students protection of any kind, other than maybe lube or just spit.
Yeah, no. So the finger, like protection.
What are
for finger banging?
cots?
They're like little beanies that you put on your finger to finger bang. But it's
is it to enhance the pleasure of getting a hand job, or is it to protect you from like sexually transmitted diseases?
It's like, I don't want to. If this is you're getting finger banged by like a chimney sweep or something, well, what the fuck is the point?
Yeah, I feel
so you
like
don't get a cold.
I feel like the real issue here that Rod could pursue, if he was a more normal guy, would be like, big condom is getting kids addicted to their products.
Yes. I mean, I just like in analyzing all 6 of these sexual adventures, it seems like only 2 of them refer to actual sex acts that like are sexual preferences, like butt stuff or oral sex. The rest of them are like just having condoms, and like all of these sexual adventures could be catered to by just making condoms and lube available. I don't get what this whole boutique thing is, but hey, it's Princeton. These kids pay a lot of money to go there. But of course, that is what Rod is fixated on. So Rod sees this menu of sexual license, and he writes here, "I know it makes me out to be an old coot, but so what? Is this what the American elite have become? Do people send their kids to Princeton, tuition, room, board, fees, $74,190, to have the university's agents encourage them to lick each other's butts? Because that's what's happening. This really is a tell. The U.S. ruling class is increasingly degenerate, don't you think? It's not that butt licking and other perversions were unknown prior to today. It's that one of the most important universities in the world is now encouraging what one imagines are among the most intelligent students in the world to amuse themselves by licking each other's butts and offer to provide them with the setups to do so." I mean, the setup to do so is just having a tongue and an asshole.
Yeah, we're already licking butts, Rod.
I don't know why all this gear needs to be involved here.
That's why they call it a desert island activity.
He's like, I know writing this will make people think I'm some kind of secret pervert who has a bunch of perverted thoughts. I don't care.
Right,
He doesn't care. That's why I love Rod more than any other writer.
Yeah.
I do like that he says, like, oh, you probably think I'm an old coot for this. And it's like, no, I think you're jacking off.
I think you're an old Rod.
Freak. Yeah.
Once upon a time, people looked up to the Ivy League as representative of the best of America. And now, in Princeton's case, they're determined to carry out a campaign to drive out impressive scholars for standing up to neo-progressive initiatives. And they're engaged in grooming behavior to encourage students to act out sexual scenarios they've seen in porn clips. I mean, if they're already of college age, I think like the grooming allegation rings a little hollow. I mean, if they're being encouraged to act out these sexual scenarios with their professors, fair enough. Get that sicko shit out of here. But I mean, like, what he's talking about is, young Ivy League undergrads who are, young, filled with the vigor of life, and may be given to sexual experimentation at that age, as is as all kids are, college, Ivy League or not.
I mean, if anything, I feel like less of them are going to do, like, just the fact that like your school is giving out the stuff makes you less likely to do this.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't know. The finger thing is just like, it's very disturbing to me. Like these not in the way that Rod thinks it so, but like, what if you're a Rod type person? Like, not, I won't say Rod type person. What if you're religious and your religion says that it's like you go to hell if you use a condom, but that also women have to take the pill? It's a very specific type of Judaism that you're a part of that maybe only I subscribe to now. It's a scary time to be religious on campus, especially if you're not a student.
Because this is your American ruling class in 2021. And yet, how many normie Americans would still send their kids to Princeton because they want their kid to be credentialed by an Ivy League school and to be launched into the elite of elites social class? How many conservative Americans would do that? Most of them, I would wager. We conservatives can be hypocritical about this stuff. We will read stuff in the conservative media about how rotten the elite universities are and how nearly all of academia is ruining itself with wokeness. And we will nod along with suggestions that our kids might be better off with a trade school education than a college degree. But if you're that kind of conservative and your kid comes to you and suggests that trade school might be a better fit for him than college, you might as well blow a gasket and say, no, son, you have to go to college because reasons. The real reason is that trade school is considered a step down in social class. First of all, Rod is like, I don't know, 60, I guess. He should not be saying things like normies in his article.
Yeah.
My son got into Princeton. Looks like he's not getting into heaven.
And it's just like, obviously like the corniness and the sort of cringe of these stupid choose your own sexual adventures and all the flavored lubes that really have no purpose for existing in the first place is kind of stupid. But colleges have been, safe sex has been a thing that's been promoted in our culture for a long time. And it's just like, does Rod think that in the 50s, like kids who went to college weren't doing butt stuff or like sucking each other off or fucking?
Just weren't doing it in a dork way, in a cringy, nerdy ass way with fucking accessories and shit.
Yeah, but like, is Rod annoyed by the accessories, or is he accessories, or is he accessories?